What's up, guys? It's Jeff from Wonder Dog Sports. Well, the second jewel in the Triple Crown goes this Saturday, May 19th. In this video, I'm going to share some history about that race and also give you a killer prop bet that you can make right now regarding the winner of the Kentucky Derby, Justified. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of the Derby, my Derby picks did very well. So my top 3 picks did in fact finish 1, 2, and 3, although not in that exact order. I will have my Preakness picks available for you this Friday. On to the Preakness. This race was first run in 1873, which preceded the first running of the Kentucky Derby by 2 years. At that time, up until the late 1950s, Maryland was near the forefront in just about every aspect of thoroughbred racing and breeding. Its decline is another example of government overreach, with the state wanting a bigger piece of the pie while giving back next to nothing. It led to the closure of Bowie Racecourse and left Pimlico and Laurel to continue, even though both facilities were in dire straits in need of massive overhauls. They've recovered to the point of being viable and factoring in the national scene, but only because of private investments. Prior to 1932, the Preakness was run before the Derby 11 times, but since that year has been run 2 weeks after the Derby and 3 weeks before the Belmont. Most casual fans know that the Belmont is the longest of the Triple Crown races, but most don't know that the Preakness is just 1/16th of a mile shorter. Also, because of the narrow nature of the Pimlico main track, the size of this field is limited to 14 horses. In recent years, the field has been largely made up of horses that did not make the Derby for a variety of reasons. They may not have had enough points to compete in Louisville, or may not be ready to run 10 furlongs this early in their 3-year-old season. The winning owner of the Preakness receives a replica of the Woodlong Vase to keep forever. Up until 1953, the trophy was given to the winning owner for 1 year, much like the Stanley Cup. However, in 1953, when Native Dancer won the Preakness, his owner, Alfred G. Vanderbilt, said it was too valuable to continue that tradition, and the replica has been awarded ever since. The Woodlawn was created by Tiffany & Company in 1861 and was made from 32 pounds of pure silver. Not sure you knew this, but it's considered the most valuable sports trophy in the world, with a recent replacement value listed as $4 million. Here's some Preakness records for you. Jockey Eddie Arcaro won it 6 times with Calumet Farms has bred and owned 7 winners. The last filly to win it was Rachel Alexandra in 2009, and she was the first since Nellie Morse in 1924. How have I done in the Preakness? Last year, I drew a big blank. In 2016, my top horse came in second. In 2015, I called the winner, American Pharaoh. And in 2014, I called the winner, California Chrome. As of now, Derby winner Justified is doing well, and he will run in the Preakness. But if he doesn't win, it's probably about 90% sure that he will not race in the Belmont. The Colt did not race as a 2-year-old, and the Preakness will be his 5th running in 2018. If he doesn't win, look for trainer Bob Baffert to give him a breather and point him for Monmouth's $1 million Haskell in early August, or the $1.2 million Travers at Saratoga later that month. I will have my Preakness picks ready to go on Friday at wonderdog.com. But for now, let's move on to a great betting opportunity that you can take advantage of this week before the Preakness runs. Will there be a Triple Crown winner in 2018? Prior to the Kentucky Derby, you're typically required to lay about $1,000 to win $100 on a no bet that there will be a Triple Crown winner. It's just hard to do. But now that Justified has won the Kentucky Derby, there are only 2 legs left and the odds have shifted dramatically. The mainstream media is already touting Justify as the next one that might be able to win the coveted Triple Crown. The media is again going crazy, talking about the possibility of just the second Triple Crown winner since 1978. It seems so inevitable. So, should you bet Justify to win the Triple Crown? Let's look at the current odds on this prop bet. Will there be a Triple Crown winner in 2018? Yes, plus 130. No, minus 180. What that means is if you bet $100 on the yes and it comes through for you, you'd win $130. If you bet $180 on the no and Justify does not win the next two legs, then you would win $100. So, what was once a bet that required a huge lay to win ratio of 10 to 1 for the no has now dropped to under 2/10 of that. And meanwhile, the yes barely pays more than even money. Why is this? The public now has a name to go with that yes bet. The media is Justify happy. And when you've seen his name written hundreds of times since the Derby, you've heard his name countless more times on radio and TV. People want a Triple Crown winner desperately. It's fun, it's exciting. All that hype and invariably leads to overbetting on the yes for this prop. The sportsbooks know that, and they shade the line dramatically. But I will argue the public is acting irrationally again. And from that, hopefully we shall profit. A yes bet on the Triple Crown winner prop pays barely better than even money at plus 130. What does that equate to in terms of an assumed win percentage? 44%. So in order for this yes bet to have value, you have to believe that Justify has a greater than a 44% chance of winning both the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes. Let's assume Justify's chances are equal in each of these two upcoming races. If he's to have a 44% chance of winning both, that equates to a 66% chance of winning each of the two races individually. Does this horse have a 2/3 chance of winning the Preakness? And if he does, an equal chance of winning the Belmont? History says it's a huge long shot for Justify to complete the Triple Crown sweep. In 143 years of Triple Crown racing, the winner of the Kentucky Derby has won the Preakness 35 times. That's 25%, folks. That's pretty far off from a 66% assumed winning percentage. Those few horses that have what it takes to win both the first two legs, really, we're talking about the absolute best of the best in the history of the sport, only go on to win that third leg, the Belmont Stakes, at a 34% rate, 12 out of 35 times. Again, that is nowhere near 66%. In 143 years of Triple Crown racing, 12 horses have won the coveted trifecta. That, folks, is 8.4%. Yet Justify supposedly has a 44% chance? What's so special about this horse to warrant a belief that he has a 5 times better chance than the historical average? The truth is he does not. People don't look at the numbers this way. And those of us that do have a real edge over the books. So, if you're considering a yes bet on Justify taking the Triple Crown, please think again. You're betting into a 12 to 1 historical long shot and only getting it paid out as if it were a tad over even money. We have an 8.4% historic figure that people are betting into as if it were 44%. Granted, the historic numbers are just averages, and sometimes the Triple Crown does come in. Maybe Justify has a better than average chance. But even if that were true, the odds are still considerably off here. And that provides tremendous value on the opposite side for us, in this case, the no bet. Based on the actual historical chances over 14 decades, a no bet here should require you to lay about minus 1100. So we get to lay minus 180 on a bet that based on long-term averages should be a minus 1100. Talk about value. It doesn't get any better than this. I know, but this is Justify. This is a great horse. He beat a huge, great field in the Derby. Well, this happens every year. I ask you, is Justify really better than the following list of horses? Silver Charm, Real Quiet, Charismatic, War Emblem, Funny Side, Smarty Jones, Big Brown, I'll Have Another, California Chrome? None of those recent Triple Crown contenders, all of whom actually won the first 2 legs, could pull off this Herculean task. Remember, only 12 horses have ever done this. Is Justify really that good that he will defy these odds and win 3 in a row against the best fields the sport has to offer? It is not very likely. Take the no at -180, as you will rarely find a bet with this much value. Again, anything under -1100 odds technically represents value based on the long-term averages. And even if Justify is better than average and you want to believe that, the odds should be much, much longer than -180. I hope this bet pans out for you, and as always, good luck.